Hi everyone, this is Brooke Skidmore with Awaken Rise, and today we are going to talk a little bit about posture. Last week we mentioned that a lot of us might have been picking up some not so great posture habits during the day. This applies especially also to youth, our young students who are doing remote learning, and I've witnessed this firsthand. Some of my nieces and nephews who are heads barely above the table while they're trying to stare at a screen all day. So paying attention to our posture can be extremely helpful, especially for those of us who suffer from back pain, neck pain, and even if you don't have those types of pains already, paying attention to your posture now can really help down the line in the long term to help us to maintain and train our muscles in a way that's going to help them to function optimally for the rest of our lives. So I'm just going to give us 3 simple tips today, things to think about when you're kind of in one seated position for long periods during the day. And so those 3 keys that I want you to think about are back, shoulders, and head. So let's go through those really quickly. If you're sitting at your desk, a lot of the time, especially right now, a lot of us are finding us in this kind of forward posture throughout the day. So one thing I like to talk to my classes about is starting from our back, our low back. We're thinking about the spine here. I want you to picture your spine as like the stem of a sunflower. So we're going to start from the base of that sunflower. And I want you to think about just growing. So growing tall, 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 all the way out through the crown of your head. Now remember, tall doesn't mean I'm leaning backward. Tall just means tall, long and tall through the crown of the head. So that's our first cue, is the low back. So instead of hunched forward, start from the base of the spine, start to lengthen like you're stacking your vertebra one at a time, all the way out through the crown of the head. So that's back. Next, we're going to think about shoulders. Our shoulders do a lot of different things. There's a lot of mobility in the shoulders. One thing that our shoulders do is called elevation and depression. Elevation just means our shoulders are up here. Depression means we're kind of pulling the shoulders down. And a lot of times when we're stressed or tense, our shoulders just naturally kind of do this. We kind of start to tense in the shoulders. And not only tension, but also just if you're reading or on your computer or watching something, we tend to kind of be rounded forward. So in addition to elevation and depression, our shoulders also do what's called protraction, meaning my shoulders are kind of reaching forward, and retraction, meaning they pull to the back. Those are just 4 of the things that our shoulders does. There's lots of other things that our shoulders do. So we're just going to focus on those 2 things here. We started from our back, we lengthened up nice and tall, and now you're going to take those shoulders kind of up to your ears and then just gently tuck them down into your back pockets. So I'm not yanking down on the shoulder blades. I don't have to squeeze back like military style. They're just gently lifted up towards the ears and then down and back. We don't need to try to force the shoulders down to have good posture. Ideally, we have kind of like a shelf position with the shoulders. So they're not up here in our ears and they're not yanking down. They're just kind of relaxed down and back, a nice shelf through the shoulders. So back and shoulders, final key to our posture here, our seated posture, is going to be our ears. A lot of times, especially right now, a lot of our youth, even adults, are looking at a phone or some sort of screen throughout the day. And so we tend to have this forward head position, forward and slightly flexed forward, so slightly pointed downward. And over time, you can just imagine those muscles getting trained to kind of stay in that position. And so over time, we kind of create this kyphosis, which is a rounded position, a flexed forward position with the thoracic spine, and the head is kind of pushed forward. So over time, if we can kind of just think about these things during the day, we can help to retrain our muscles so that they're aligned properly. Ideally, those ears are going to be lined up right on top of the shoulders. So you might think about that throughout the day too. Instead of kind of this forward head position, you're pulling the ears back in line with the shoulders. So one more time from the top, or from the bottom actually, starting from the base of our spine. Picture that sunflower. Starting from the base of that sunflower, we're going to start to grow long, 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 long out through the crown of the head. Then shoulders, bring them up to your ears and just gently tuck them down and back into your back pockets, and then bring those ears back in line with the shoulders. Just a few simple adjustments to help keep our posture healthy and strong, and so that we're developing good habits that are going to last us throughout the rest of our life. Let's kind of keep that in our minds throughout this week as we're at work and play on the computer. Thanks.